Take your seat down center, sir.
I will, as long as Michael keeps his shirt on.
Stand right here so you can see what
Oh.
We never manage expectations for you, Brett. It's always the greatest performer, the most iconic voice.
You know,
No pressure.
It's going to be really hard to go
at the
home.
office they call me the cheat sheet. So when Brett's around, we just bring our little sketchy sheet.
Just in case you get stuck, which I'm sure happens occasionally.
All the time.
Yes.
All right.
I've been stuck on the ship.
Our next guest, a Member Cruise veteran, and she's attracted legions of fans through live events, television, radio broadcasts, books. Overachiever. She also happens to be one of Disney's most trusted historians and an audio archaeologist.
Man.
You know what that is,
I
Mark?
do not.
I thought it meant that she took part in some sort of old-timey Indiana Jones radio show.
I like
It
that.
is not true. Thank you.
Oh, nice. That is.
Where's that been the last 6 days, huh? Finally figured out the instant replay,
Yeah, I
didn't
like
they?
it. I
All
like
right.
it.
She's lovely, she's talented, she's probably forgotten more about Disney than I'll ever learn, and that is absolutely true. Please give a warm welcome to our friend and Member Cruise favorite, Ms. Stacia Martin!
Stacia, I love that you say legions of fans.
Legions, I
Legions.
know. Wow, that's some responsibility.
It really is. It wasn't even in the script. All right, who's next, Michael?
That's a lot of people.
It is.
Legion.
Yeah, what is the definition of legion? How many?
A lot.
20,000.
How many?
20,000.
20,000.
Wow, that's like about half the people that follow you on TikTok.
Pencil
I'm
magic.
super happy and honored. This next guest, you will know her as the voice of Belle in the animated classic. I know her as a super sweet and dear friend, an amazing artist, making her debut, DVC family debut. We finally got her out here. I think we'll never get her off the ship now. Please welcome my dear friend, Paige O'Hara.
So nice to have you.
And beside that lovely voice, she creates masterful work for our Disney Fine Art Project program, which you probably didn't know, but you will in a few minutes.
I'll tell you all about it. Thanks for coming today. This is wonderful. You having a good day?
Yeah.
It's better now.
Thank you.
I know. All right, so I think it's probably our cue to maybe leave the stage. at
I'm
this
sure
point
we're
in time.
late leaving the stage.
So this is a show that has all these drawings inspired by artists, by beasts and beauties and beasts. We all know where that comes from. Obviously, the beauties part. We obviously have Paige O'Hara, who was the voice of Belle. But it's any beauty in the Disney icon, any beautiful character in the Disney IP, whether it's inside or out. I know you believe in that, John. You believe that beauty is also inside and out, right?
It says so on the card, so I'm assuming so.
All right. And then Beast as well. It's not just villains necessarily, but it could be even Mickey in a bad mood. I mean, that would be fun. Have you ever
That's
done
my life.
He is always Mickey.
Saw a
in a
little of
bad-
that last night with Caitlin on stage, actually, so.
Oh my gosh.
When you show up to deck 10 or 11 and the soft strips close. Like that's
Well, Brett, who are you gonna beat up on now, Stacia?
never. No.
All right, so in other words, all of the artists up here go nuts. Anything you want in terms of beauties, in terms of beasts, that's what the show is about.
Yes, and now a couple of notes for you all. When you came in today, you should have received a raffle ticket. Everybody get a raffle ticket?
Good.
All right. If perchance you did not, flag down one of our ticket-toting folks there. Glad I got that out. That was a little bit worrisome. And they will get that to you as we will be raffling off some of these fabulous pieces of art at the end of the show. Michael, any more housekeeping notes?
Other than we're all thirsty, so I think what we should do is roam the audience. If
Yes.
you have a question, please quietly get our attention. We'll give you the mic, and we can make this super fun, super interactive. So think of those things. Yeah, you know, I wanted to ask and I never did. Now's the time to do it. So we'll turn it over, let you guys start your thing, and enjoy the show, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. Feel free, as Michael suggested.
Process of Disney animation. I love the appeal of all the characters and the storytelling. So I was the kid who didn't go home and necessarily play the way other kids did. I went into my bedroom, to my drawing table, and I just started drawing the characters. So fascinated with that for as long as I can remember. That led me to go to art school. Art school led to my first job, which was with Hallmark Greeting Cards in Kansas City, Missouri, where I was there for 5 years before I auditioned to be Mickey. And then that's when I took a little bit of a tangent, career-wise, but I've always maintained my interest in art, and I'm very thankful to say I've always maintained my artistic career. So for 20-something years now, I've been a professional artist. Oh, thank you so much. Where did you come from? Thank you so much. I thought you were like in the desk or something. Anybody else?
Stowaway from Sicily.
Yeah. I think he wins the first drawing.
All right, that's great. That's great. You have a magic desk, evidently.
Yes.
How about you, Stacia?
Gosh, well, same story. I was the kid who went home and drew after school, but I loved drawing from about age 2, and my mom fortunately saved a lot of things, so I've got strange scribbles that I did at that age that I was trying to depict something, and she would write on the back what they were. So my earliest known art is some sort of blobby thing, and it's called 2 Men Carrying a Sign that says light bulbs for sale on the back, so I don't know what that means. But I loved drawing, and I decided in 3rd grade on career day, when everybody else wanted to be cowboys or ballerinas, I decided I was going to be a Disney artist because I loved drawing. I loved Disney. While I was doing all of my drawings at home in my room, I was listening to my Disney record collection, so I loved Disney music, and everything kind of fused together. It's like, that's the world I want to be part of. And so I made that decision about age 7, and it worked out really well.
Yes, it certainly did. Boy, how lucky is that at age 7 to know exactly what you want to be steeped in for the rest of your life, and it all works out.
Look how fast she is. Oh my God.
Stacia will create 10 or 20 pieces by the time the show is over.
We did a thing the other day, and she had to do it in 23 seconds, and we had to guess what it was. She had almost the entire thing finished in 23 seconds. Not me. It takes me days. So I have to say, you guys, I have such admiration for them. I mean, I do this for fun. They're the real pros, and I love watching them and learning from them. But I think this is a very special day.
Paige, how did you start doing this for fun?
Well, my dad was an architect and an artist and a watercolorist, and when I was like 3-4 years old, I would sneak all of his books, and I loved Turner and Sargent and Mary Cassatt, and I would copy them and with watercolor. And that was about the same time I went into acting class, and I had an acting teacher that was really tough on me, and I realized if I painted her a watercolor every week, she'd be a little nicer to me. So it was the watercolor instead of the apple, But then when I went to New York, I was right out of high school, and I would do watercolors and sell them on the street of Manhattan, and that would help pay my rent. So, but I've always loved painting. It's something I've done since my whole life, even before I was an actress. So it's great joy for me. It's a great escape for me, when I want to just go into another, level of being quiet and meditating, whatever.
Well, why don't you turn around and paint some more paint on that?
Oh my
page?
gosh.
Come on.
This is so scary being with these guys. You have any idea? Oh my gosh.
We're the ones who are sharing a stage with the Disney legend.
Well, it's interesting
I
because
collect records, so oh my goodness,
she certainly doesn't paint on stage usually, so it's
No.
a new thing, but I think that it's
I'm
going,
very
it's going well.
much in solitude
It's
when I
going-
paint. Now and then my cat will pop in and take a peek.
And with your fingers, I love it. Kids, oil paint with your fingers. It's fine. It's fine. Stacia, who are some of the artists that influenced you?
Oh gosh, well, I have of course a lot of the ones that everybody loves. Mary Blair, who was Walt's favorite color stylist, the great Ivan Earle, who was the art director for Sleeping Beauty, that incredibly detailed geometric film that looks like nothing else. A couple other artists who you might not know, one named Frans van Lamsveerde, who worked for Disney for a while from about Peter Pan to, let's say probably the middle of Sleeping Beauty. That was a long project. And he later came back to Disney and did things like the Storyteller album, again with records, to Babes in Toyland. And that was one of my biggest favorites that I would look at endlessly. And I would not only listen to the records, but I would try to copy the pictures and then do the parts of the Storyteller record that they didn't have room to fit into the book in that same style. So his style, I think I spent a lot of time But I think one of the ones that I think I probably lady named Retta Scott Worcester, who was the first credited female animator in Disney history. I didn't know that, but her work just so appealed to me. And as it turns out, she was best friends with Mary Blair, so everything kind of all goes together. But those would be my biggest art influences, I think.
That's great. That's great. And Bret, you can't escape this question. Who are some of your inspirational artists that brought you to the table today?
Well, Michael Young, of course. Huge inspiration. Similar to Stacia, you know, I find a lot of inspiration from the legends of Disney past. Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston are always credited as being two of the Walt's 9 old men, is what they call them, and they've been a tremendous inspiration for me. I just love the art form of traditional animation and what they brought to it with motion and anatomy. You know, Walt was notorious for treating his animated classics like, you know, true art forms. He wanted his artists to get real formal art training, and I think that shows in those early films, whether it's Snow White, Fantasia, Pinocchio, Bambi. So I've drawn a lot of inspiration from those greats back then. And then when it comes to more modern stuff, you know, Eric Goldberg, Mark Henn, Glenn Keane, from the second renaissance of Disney animation, as it were. I've you know, gotten to know Eric and Mark fairly well, and that's you know, very surreal to me, having grown up looking at the books that talk about them and their art form. So yeah, I think there's inspiration all around, truly, when it comes to Disney history.
All right, let's enough rainbows and unicorns. Let's talk commerce, people. When is the first time that you got, I'm going to start with you, Paige.
Okay.
When is the first time that you got paid for your art? You cannot pay your bills with dreams, which is why Mark and I don't have homes, cars, or any sort of workable retirement plan. When did you first get paid for your art, realize that you were a professional artist?
It was in New York City. I was 17, just got out of high school, moved to New York, and I realized my parents said, "You're doing this on your own." So they sent me a few $100s and said, "Goodbye." And they said, "Do this on your own." And I realized that I'd have to work a few jobs. So I would paint at night, and I'd sell the watercolors on the streets of New York for, you know, $10 or whatever, $15. And I would paint, you know, I would copy Sargent, I would copy Turner, but oddly enough, some of my Disney portraits, one of Snow White and Judy Garland portraits, sold the most. So that was something I really loved to do. And you know, it was a lot. If I could help pay my rent or pay for some groceries, that was a big deal.
Did you declare that income, Paige? I'm just curious.
No, I did not.
Oh, there's the IRS agents here. I think the statute's gone. You're okay.
Well, considering my voice teacher in those days, 1975, she was $50 an hour was a lot of money back then.
A working, struggling artist on Broadway. Come on.
Yeah. Well, luckily I had a really great good fortune story where I mailed in a bunch of cassettes. I think you guys might have heard this story, but I remember cassettes. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. But before I went to New York, I mailed a bunch of cassettes to some managers there, and just thought it's probably going to end up in the garbage can, but you never know. And this gentleman who owned Brownie's restaurant, his friend was a manager. He said, "You got to hear this. This is some kid from Fort Lauderdale. She sounds like she's 30." And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he said, "I love your voice. When I came to New York," he said, "I'm going to set you up at my restaurant with some very important people." I said, "Okay, I'm there. I get to the restaurant, and there's Danny Kaye and Gwen Verdon sitting at the table. And I was totally, like, so starstruck. Well, Danny Kaye said to me, he said, "I truly love your voice, and I can't believe it comes out of this little body." And he said, "I'm going to set you up with William Morris for an audition." So William Morris was the biggest talent agency in New York at that time. So I go in, and he said, "Be prepared to do a lot." And I thought it was going to be some assistant, an accountant or something watching me sing, you know. But it turned out it was a grand piano with 7 different agents there, some of the top agents. And they said, "We want you to entertain us for 30 minutes. So I had my lifelong pianist, Dennis, with me, and we sang about 20 minutes of those, and the other were different monologues from when I played Juliet, Romeo and Juliet, and then some of my comedy parts that I played. And they signed me that day. Yeah, what is it? Yeah? Oh, she said, anyway, I kind of got lost in the shuffle. My agent there had actually discovered Dustin Hoffman, and he brought Dustin Hoffman and asked me to join him going out on his own. His name was Lou Rosen. So I was very fortunate to Danny Kaye that happened, because Lou was able to get me the auditions. And I'd be in Oklahoma, directed by Bill Hammerstein, the first national tour, 1980. Yeah. And then my first Broadway show was another Hammerstein, Showboat. So, but I always kept painting through all of it, especially when I was unemployed. It would help a lot for that. So.
All right, Stacia, first time you got paid for your art.
Well, I was trying to think about that, and I think it was just out of high school, or just my senior year of high school. I'd been doing a lot of art in school and for the community, just gratis, but somebody asked if I would do, and this is hilarious, not my field, some elevations of some storm gutters for their sales brochure. So I think that might have been the first time I got paid for anything. But very shortly thereafter, after graduating high school, I went to Disneyland to get a job, just any job, so that I could get my foot in the door and start working my way through the company. And I started in June on Main Street, working in the original Disneyana shop, but started exploring and meeting people, and I think by that October, I was doing artwork for Disney on an irregular basis, as well as going to school, as well as working on Main Street. So I'd say October 78, not counting the gutters.
All right, Bret, gutter story, power washing company. When did you first get paid?
Mine, I think if I was to go way back to the very first time I ever got paid, I was just telling the story I did the other night. I was obsessed with Aladdin when it came out. So again, I mentioned this earlier, I would go home after school, I would draw all the characters. And my grandparents owned a print shop, so that meant they had a Xerox machine. And I would give my grandmother the drawings I did, she would go make copies of them, and then I'd go to school the next day and sell those photocopies. So I've been in the business of limited edition prints for a while now.
Hey, Bret, did you save those tax returns?
Sure, Michael.
Bootleg Bret Iwan.
All right, Bret, well, we'll stay with you. You obviously get paid by the mouse in more ways than one. Now, when did you first realize, we've talked about the story about how you got the gig with Mickey Mouse, but when did you realize, because you told us that you used to imitate Mickey Mouse all the time for your friends, you'd go to the parks and say, and come in with this wonderful expression as you entered Disneyland or Disney World, but when did you realize you could actually do that? When did that dawn on you that you were pretty good at doing Mickey's voice?
Well, I've told this story a few times. I don't know if I've told it on this cruise yet, but one of my favorite Disney shows of all time is Fantasmic. And as such, when I was a kid, when the soundtrack came out, I listened to that all the time. It was on a little CD, and I would listen to it all the time. And I started kind of unintentionally just voicing along with the show, right? I would do my own little. I don't think I realized I was doing impressions. I was just kind of playing, and like you sing along with the song when it's on the radio. I was talking along with the show, and I remember on one of those days when it came to Mickey's part, and I did my impression. I thought, well, that kind of sounds good. So it was, I don't know what it was about it, my prepubescent voice that made me think I sound like Mickey, but that's kind of what started me doing impressions. It was really fantastic. Oh no! You might think you're so powerful. Well, this is my dream. Stuff like that. So I think that's.
You never entertained men who were doing gutter work with them?
No, I can't say that that's ever
Just
really.
the drawings of the gutters,
So, Stacia, you're always so calm and collected, but working with legends and heroes and stars over the years, there has to be some of those oh my gosh moments where you're just out of your shoes excited. Tell us about that.
Yes, there are many of them, and I like, for example, just one out of the hat here. I was extremely proud and pleased to be part of the first 20 years of the Disney Legends program, as far as helping organize it, and Roy E. Disney was in charge of it, and I was on the board and putting the program together and selecting the honorees and things, and then you got to meet them. It's like, oh, it's Julie Andrews and I am talking to her. How did this happen? And you just can't fathom that you're in the presence of these people whose not only, legendary status is world renowned, but whose work has personally affected so much of what I think is beautiful and entertaining. And so just the entire Disney Legends experience, but also everywhere. We have so many opportunities when you work with Disney. I mean, here I am with Paige and Bret. I mean, legends, yes. Corroborate each other's stories and how we all got here. It kind of makes you think that, oh, we're not all so different. You know, no one rose like Botticelli's Venus from the sea, you know, and was a legend. We all worked hard to get there. But still in all, there are some folks whose talent is so undeniable, and it's just wonderful to be able to bask in their presence. And, you know, I would have to say that over the large amount of time, it's been 46 years next month that I've been with Disney. I hate to even admit that. You know, thank you. But the privilege afforded to me of meeting so many of these people who've been just transformative to what I feel is entertaining has been a great advantage. But I would put Julie Andrews on the high list of knee-buckling, tongue-stilling, eye-popping joy, because without that Mary Poppins record, you know, I don't think I'd have my dentalized T's and D's as well as I have, because like Bret, I would be singing along with that every chance I got.
So, Bret Iwan, first of all, how about the amazing goodies you're finding in your rooms every day? I mean, I just keep praying I keep getting invited back, because those are the greatest gifts on the planet. I use everything every day. So thank you for that, DVC. And speaking of those gifts and Xerox machines, you got a set of portfolios in your room last night, which are screen print portfolios done by Bret Iwan. We worked on the 2022 sailing in Alaska. These are not Xerox, Bret. These are painstakingly hand-pulled screen prints, hand-colored, hand-pulled. It's about 4 months to produce just those prints for this ship. So Bret, love 2022 Alaska. What inspired you, and what was your thoughts going into this Mediterranean cruise?
Well, this one was really fun and a slight departure from my typical styling. You know, I was presented with the plan for you've seen a lot of the amazing graphics around the ship with the small world inspired graphics, and so that was kind of the origination of the styling that these posters ended up being. They're supposed to be a little bit of an homage to Mary Blair and her tremendous skill to take these immense subjects and you know, bring them down to the simplest of shapes, utilizing just this simple shapes and colors to communicate a whole story. And so that was my inspiration. You know, these are amazing. We're traipsing through history as we travel Europe, and how do you even begin to represent that in a single shot? And so Mary is the perfect person to look for inspiration from, and then that's what I tried to do. But Michael, you left out one of my favorite things about these silkscreen prints is that, you know, you're probably going to talk about this a little bit more. They are true silkscreen prints, which is, you know, it's not something you see so much anymore. We're very used to the printers at home that can just spit it all out at once. These are done color by color, layer by layer. So, you know, you've got to do a yellow pass, and then you've got to do the pink pass on top of that, and then you've got to do the black pass. So it takes a while. But one of my favorite things about that process, especially when it comes to Michael and his team at Cyclops Printworks, is that they're using presses that they got from Imagineering. Am I right, Michael?
We do still have one major old screen press that did some attraction posters at Disneyland.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk about history.
It's interesting because so much of the process now is digital, creation or production. And there are screen print presses that can actually automate, and they can do a print like that in a day. Ours are hand colored. We don't have any digital colors. It is about as old school as it gets, and it's always a joy when Bret comes to the Disney Fine Art office when Cyclops Print work. We're one of the same, and gets to go on press and check color and work on those things with our print masters, my business partners. So it is super wonderful that we still get to create these things that are meant to be created as screen prints.
Great stuff. Now, remember, if anyone has a question, comment, anything else, please feel free to raise your hand. Bret, we're going to stick with you and your recent creations. Talked about the silk screen, talked about all the things you've done on your own, but you've collaborated with our good friend Ashley Eckstein in our Sail Away collection. And just more evidence, Bret, that every bit of art on this ship is somehow derivative of you. Tell us about that collaboration with your good friend and what that's been like.
Well, similar. I've been talking a lot on this cruise about working on Camp Mickey and Minnie, one wild summer that I got to do with my friend Ryan March, as you all know. Similar experience when working with Ashley. She's one of my best friends because she has a lot more experience when it comes to merchandise collections and fashion, as you probably know, with her founding of Her Universe. So it's been really great to have her insight as we collaborate on these collections together. The Sail Away one was a lot of fun because I got to do all the artwork for it. And we really wanted to do a collection that harkened back to the vintage sailing that, I think ships like the Disney Dream represent so well. And so it's been great to see them in the stores. It's been even more exciting to see people receiving them well and wearing them. But yeah, working with her is truly a delight. She's very easy to work with, and if you've ever met Ashley, you know she's just one of the kindest people on the planet, so it makes it very easy.
Now, Michael, I know that it's your turn next, but I have a question in the audience.
And then I have a question in the audience.
Ooh, wow, how about that? Way to go,
It's a question
audience.
off.
No one wants to talk to me, apparently.
And raise your hand if you're shocked about that
Hey,
right
hey,
now.
don't trip out over that.
All right, so, all right.
Yeah, never gonna live it down.
Where's the rim shot on that one? All right, this is Paul from the UK. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. Bret, this is about your position right now in life as the only person besides Walt Disney to professionally draw and voice Mickey. Paul has a question regarding that. Go ahead, Paul.
All right. So if you know the voice, does that help in drawing the character so that you would see that expression from the words they've been?
Yes, but I would say that I think being able to draw the character probably helps me more on the voice side of things. And I say that because when I'm recording any project for Mickey, whether it's a TV show or just a toy or a theme park, I can't help but picture this little Mickey here, this hand-drawn, sketched out, line work Mickey. That's how he lives in my head. So being able to picture his expressions definitely influences how I'm voicing him. And if you ever come to a recording session and look at my script, it'll be littered with drawings. One of the worst things to happen with the pandemic was they switched our scripts to iPads, and so I can't draw on them anymore, so I'm always looking for like a Post-it or something nearby, because it's like a nervous habit to scribble as I record. But the two definitely go in hand, for sure.
Great question. Mile High City, Robin from Denver.
Thank you. It's first of all such an honor to be here with the likes of you three and everyone who makes this cruise possible. For everyone here who has been doing this professionally for so long, there's thousands and thousands of people who never achieve this status of accomplishment or exposure, etc. So if you weren't doing this work now, what do you think you would be doing instead?
Big question.
Paige. Let's start with you since you're looking right at me.
I was obsessed with acting and singing from the time I could talk. So, and it was Julie Andrews was the reason. My grandmother took me to see Mary Poppins, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the movie and with her, and I was obsessed. And at the same time, I idolized my dad, and so I wanted to be like him and paint like him as well. So, but it was. I can't imagine doing anything else. I've pretty much refused to lose. I was just like, I couldn't do it. I don't know what I would do. To be honest, I think that's my only talent is really acting, singing, and painting. And I'm terrible with math. I'm all right brain, no left brain. So I'm not sure what else it would be.
That's what Michael's for.
Yeah, exactly. Probably if I were really interested, I would teach, most likely, because teachers are the heroes to me. My mom was a teacher, and they don't get enough credit.
Stacia, what would you be doing if you were sketching 400 sketches a day?
I'm going to have to write on your coattails page because my parents were both teachers too. And so we know how important that is. And it's the gift that perpetuates all the good in the world. And it's a really nice thing to know you're part of the answer and not of the problem in what you do. And so I think I probably would have been the teacher who draws a lot, or I would have been researching and writing books to teach through, and perhaps some of those books would have been about my favorite hobby obsession, which is Disney. So not too far from where I am now, but I think I would have probably channeled it into that. And heaven knows, as we know, it would have had to have been a career where I get to talk a lot.
Mr. Iwan.
My turn, huh?
It's your turn.
You know, I've actually thought about this a lot because I'm a little bit of a crazy person in that I'm always doing something slightly different than what I'm maybe known for. You know, I was an artist and then I decided to try my hand at voice acting. One of the things I most admire about Walt Disney and his story is his curiosity. He's just somebody who is always looking towards the future or just looking to learn something new about a particular subject. And I've tried to kind of maintain that same curiosity in my life. Chalk it up to ADD. I don't know what it is. I'm just always looking for something new to do. So I think if I wasn't professionally drawing or professionally voice acting, I'd probably still do something in the arts, whether that be architecture or building or woodworking, all things that I'm very interested in. I'm also a big fan of the mechanical arts, restoration and that kind of thing. So I think most likely if I wasn't drawing, I'd still be doing something with my hands, just might be with a different medium.
Johnny,
All right.
one more question.
Yes, please.
So
go ahead.
sorry.
No.
All right, one more question from the audience and we'll continue to go. This is Heinisha from Germany. Go ahead. This is for all three again.
Hi, good morning. I wondered how many mentees do you guys have and what you're learning from them?
Good question. Mentees. Stacia, do you have someone off the top of your head?
I really have to say no because I don't have any. I have a lot and I have none because what I do is so all over the board. My position, I'm based out of Disneyland, but I have the great joy of working interdivisionally throughout the Walt Disney Company. So I'm kind of a one-person run around and do everything myself act here. So I don't really have anybody that I've actually mentored myself, but I have so many people whom I've been able to see on even a semi-regular basis, be it at events or working on projects, and they'll tell me, oh, I tried this thing you told me, or oh, I looked up this movie, or oh, I know this artist now, thank you. So I guess maybe I'm spreading the little seeds all around, but there's no one specific person that has been accompanying me through my journey, but spreading the seeds is good too, I think. That's awesome.
Paige?
Well, there are a few. You all know Jody Benson, of course, and she's one of my dearest friends since 1980. We go back that long. And so we've been kind of supporting each other throughout our whole careers, and still are. And she knew I was nervous today, so she says, hi everybody. She was here to give me a little encouragement. She's actually getting ready to play Dolly in Hello Dolly, which will be really fantastic in Orlando. So Jody's been with me the whole time. My mother was my main idol, who I learned from. She was a great acting teacher, as well as she was like Auntie Mame. Living with Auntie Mame was my mom, and it was a pretty incredible ride. Unfortunately, when she passed way too young, but I feel like she's with me all the time. And a person who helped me a lot with Disney Fine Art was I was very fortunate that Michael set me up with Toby Bluth. And Toby, as you know, the greatest watercolorist, I think my favorite of all time. And he was so kind to me because I was definitely the outcast for the art world. I mean, they're like, Paige O'Hara's going to be an artist, really?
You were the newbie.
I was a newbie, but they were like, no. And Toby looked at my work and he said, I really love your work, and I'm going to give you some advice. And he said, don't listen to anyone else. Follow your heart. If you paint the way you act, the painting will be magic. And I never forget the way he said that. If you paint the way you act, just paint with your feeling. And so Toby Bluth I've got him all over my house. I'm a huge fan of Toby's. But everybody's been great. Mark Henn and Don Hahn, by the way, I was hired to paint Little Mermaid for the Steelbook. And that was very intimidating, but also really exciting. And I got some seriously wonderful advice from Don Hahn, who's a magnificent artist. If you haven't seen his artwork, it's unbelievable. But Mark Henn also helped me through that.
And Glenn Keane.
And Glenn Keane, oh yes, Glenn. Glenn's too nice though. He won't criticize me.
He helps with your beasts.
He does. Glenn is so modest. He says, "Oh, I can't paint. I can't paint." I was like, "Really, Glenn? No, I can believe you can paint." He says, "No, I draw. But very modest."
Bret?
I don't necessarily have any mentees right now. I'd like to think that, my nieces and my nephews, I definitely want to be an influence to them and their creative pursuits. I have one niece in particular who's really into drawing, and that's really exciting to see. The last time I was home, she pulled out all of her art from that year of school. I guess they're not, semesters are for when you're older. Never mind, I digress. Anyway, I love seeing and acknowledging, again, that curiosity and that desire to be creative in whoever it be, whether it's a kid or an adult. So I may not, like Stacia said, we may not necessarily be in a formal mentor-mentee program, as it were, but I like to think that when we do these types of events, hopefully our stories are offering some sort of inspiration to anyone who's listening, and then that alone can hopefully be a little bit of a mentor-mentee.
Bret, I think those 500 young college program kids in Orlando were all mentees of yours.
That's true. That's true.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I mean, I love being able to share my story. I realize I'm in a very fortunate, unique situation, and I always want to be able to give back in the ways that have been given to me.
I've got a quick two-part question for all of you. In all your trials, tribulations, and battles with the easel, what is the most exciting or favorite character you have to paint or sketch? And part B will be, what is the most challenging or fearful to paint or sketch? Because I know there's both. Stacia?
Well, I'd say as a genre, my favorites to work with in any way are the adult ducks, Donald, Daisy, Uncle Scrooge, because Walt always liked to call cartooning and animation the plausible impossible come to life, because you can do things in animation that you can't do any other way. And especially back before the dawn of any other tools like computers or anything, it was drawing. You think of the cave paintings with the multiple legs on the bison. They were trying to arrest motion and depict it somehow. So with animation and persistence of vision, we finally got it. But you think about those ducks. Ducks shouldn't really be able to do what they do on screen. When you think about the counterbalance of the giant feathered caboose, not really, a logical weight distribution. Think about rubbery legs and big flat feet and suspension of belief. Like if Donald's walking down the street in a cartoon on his way to Daisy's house, he's got candy and flowers and he's whistling. You're waiting for something to happen, aren't you? Well, you're not really processing that. Ducks can't pucker their beaks. Wait a minute, and he's whistling. So you can do all these things and make them make complete sense, even though they're completely senseless. And I think that's my favorite thing to do, and the ducks embody that. Things I have trouble with are geometric characters, because as you can see, when I draw, my hand wants to go in very nice round circles. So if you have somebody who's made up of pointy, sharp, individual lines, that's not the way my hand wants to move, so I really have to work at that. And as it happens, that mostly tends to be villains, because you want to hug the nice, round, friendly folks, but you don't really necessarily want to hug Jafar or Hades or Maleficent, and they're all sharp and pointy. So I can do it, but it takes me a lot longer.
Bret, what about you?
Believe it or not, I think to this day that one of the most intimidating characters to draw for me is Mickey Mouse. I think
No way.
he is a deceivingly simple character. I think he's easy to mess up, and if you get Mickey just a little bit off, there's something quite not right. I just had the tremendous honor of painting Mickey's official portrait for his 95th birthday just last year. And it is his 8th portrait ever done, tradition started by John Hench back in 1953. And John did the first 5 of those. So that's a very intimidating legacy to be a part of. It never, as many times as I've drawn Mickey, I don't think I've ever reached the point where I'm like, oh, this is easy. Don't need to worry about it. I think I'm almost even more concerned and ultra sensitive about the intricacies of Mickey Mouse.
Paige?
Well, I think the most difficult thing was painting the ballroom. and I think they'll see one of my treasures is that possible. Well, let's see. All right, you can go on the internet. You can look at my ballroom. My ballroom. My husband actually helped me with it. I mean, it was all there again, mathematical. I'm terrible at math, so Michael was helping me with all of the measuring and all of that. So other than that, without a doubt. So I'm lucky I'm not on a time frame. I could take a month to draw the beast. It takes me forever. Belle is my one I enjoy the most because I just know her, and it's just Belle comes through me easily. I'm also loving painting Rapunzel right now. I've been selling a lot of Rapunzel. Yes, she's amazing, and Mandy Moore is amazing. So I'm really having a lot of fun with Rapunzel.
And one quick thing, John, I gotta tell you, this is a rare opportunity to get, and the artist will know this, to get a painting, not so much a sketch, out of their hands before it's done, because they don't want anyone to judge or think, and we see them all day long, like, we can look. So I got it from her, not really telling her I was going to bring it.
Fighting him tooth and nail.
So
I said, nobody's going to see, I don't want him to see an unfinished painting.
A rare look at a work in progress, which we may have something to give away, but I'll let you take that away.
All right, we are getting closer to our giveaway, so we're going to try to pick up the pace here a little. Going to do a little lightning round, a couple of questions in the lightning round, folks. So when I ask you this question, you can either just give me a name or if you want to expound on it a little bit. But we do want to get around to the giveaway. So, all right, here is the lightning round, and I am going to start, Paige, with you one more time.
Okay.
Imagine you're trapped overnight inside the Haunted Mansion. Which character are you taking with you?
Do you know I've never been in the Haunted Mansion because it scares me so much. I'm a wimp when it comes to that kind of thing, and roller coasters. So when I go to Disney World, my family has a great time, and I just kind of hang out and watch them as they come back. So I can't answer that question. I would hope that I could find Mickey there somewhere. That would be what I'd be looking for.
Well, that's okay, because I assume Stacia's been in it 1,639,000 times. Stacia, who would you take for protection?
Prince Philip.
Oh, that's it. Maybe I need to go in that ride then.
No, make sure you're fine.
Okay.
And Bret?
The organist. I want that soundtrack playing all the time, right?
What do you mean from the mansion? Which character?
Yeah, was that the
I
question?
misunderstood the question. No, I like your answer better.
Oh, we're not paying attention up here. What was the question, John?
Yeah.
If you get trapped in overnight, which Disney character are you bringing in for protection?
Okay, so Prince Philip.
Oh.
Oh, for bringing into the mansion.
Yes, indeed.
I
Hi, welcome
misunderstood
to
you
the show.
too. I
What is
have
this?
an answer now.
There are no wrong answers, Bret, just bad ones.
I don't know. Bob Iger.
Wow, nice. Perfect.
Okay, now that I know what you meant, the beast of that question.
All right, one more. Let's say you're joining up to finance a big purchase together. So you want a character that with the highest level of integrity and responsibility, somebody you can really trust, the antithesis of Mark. Start with you, Bret. Who would you take in with a financial purchase? Who would you trust the most?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That's a hard question.
Dopey. He doesn't say much, but there's a lot going on.
Oh, fair. And dogs are so trustworthy and loyal, so that's not bad. Stacia, who would you? You have to finance a big purchase.
Mary Poppins, because she would broach no nonsense from the vendor and might whittle the price down to tuppence.
And finally, Paige, to you.
Belle. Belle's smart. Of course she would know what to do. That's one of her best qualities. Belle, I would trust Belle.
All right, back to you, Michael.
Me?
Yeah, back to you.
How about me?
Is it you next?
I think we're just gonna start
Fine.
giving away free stuff.
I'm at the end of the information highway here.
Yeah,
so.
There's like fire coming out of eyes. Like, when are we gonna get this?
No, I know. Lots of free stuff to give away, folks. And so what we're going to do is going to raffle it off, as you probably guessed. And John Pelkey is going to have the bucket of raffle tickets, but because of, all kinds of litigation, we're going to make sure that members choose from the bucket. Not John Pelkey, who's gotten into all kinds of trouble doing it in the past. So he will go around and offer each choice to a member as we proceed through the art. Now, Bret, how many are you giving away at this point in
Let's
time?
see. I think I only did 4 because
Okay.
I'm always so much slower than Stacia.
I think the world is slower than Stacia.
What did she have? 40 over there?
Yeah. 1700. Okay.
I've got. Let's see.
You're already mic'd.
Give me double mic. I like all the mics.
Yes.
Please. Okay, so beauties and beasts. I started with this little beauty, Steamboat Willie. Come on. And I did that because I wanted to depict one of the original beasts himself, Mr. Pete.
Nice.
Got a little...
All right, so we're giving away Steamboat Willie and then Pete. So Steamboat Willie, go ahead, John.
All right, my friend Cindy from Virginia is going to pick one out here. Fellow Virginian. No, I didn't know that. Coming over to her. So, all right.
You read it, John?
Yeah, the fact that they're giving me a glass bowl to carry around is probably questionable.
It really is.
At some point, somebody's trying to take me out. All right. You look at that art. If your number is, excuse me, 5, 2, 2, 2, 3.
He's gonna host the next show.
If he works within budget, he'll be here. All right, one more time. 5, 2, 2, 2, 3, 5, 5.
Lots of ahs. Wow.
All right. Oh, make more noise than that when you win. All right, I would ask to check the ticket, but I'm going to trust you because we're on a time sting here. So.
All right, now we're giving away Pete.
All right, young lady. Digging deep. Well done. No, you don't get to read it. That's me. All right, here we go. 5, 2, 2, 2, 3, 0, 8. 308. There it is.
Congratulations. All right, what's next, Bret?
Oh, we're sticking with me. Let's see. We've got Mickey and Minnie from a highly underrated feature, The Three Musketeers. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what follows that?
And following that is one of the best depictions of Goofy ever. Goofy from Camp Mickey and Minnie One Wild Summer, written by Ryan March, illustrated by Bret Iwan. So, available June 18th at local retailers and all.
You have a future in promotions among everything else.
Hey, you know what?
All right, so here we go with we're gonna do Mickey and Minnie from Three Musketeers. Go ahead, Johnny.
All right. I'll skip the 5, 2, 2, 2. I just didn't do that, did I? All right, 5, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8.
4, 4, 8.
4, 4, 8.
4, 4, 8.
4, 4, 8.
Someone has left the building.
Pick again. Pick again.
All right, they want you to pick again.
All right.
Man,
Try to do better this time.
it's getting ruthless.
All right.
You must be present.
The 5, 2, 2, 2 thing. 207.
Yeah!
She's my birthday twin. We met earlier.
All right, and now we have Goofy. And what's he doing again?
It's Goofy from Camp Mickey and Minnie
That-
One Wild Summer, written by Ryan March, illustrated by Bret Iwan.
Yes! Man, third act. Third act is
Contractually obligated to say that. All right. 5 with the 3 2s. 3, 8, 4. Right there. Back there.
Beautiful. Let's hear it for the winners of Bret Iwan's art. And we'll do this a little bit later. All right, Stacia.
Yes.
We've got 1700. Let's start now. All right, this is a slow unveiling. It's a lot of fun.
We have to talk about somebody who's beastly, a beast and beastly. Angry Donald.
Angry Donald. All right, so let's go with that real quick, Johnny.
Yes, indeed. Angry Donald is the 5, the 3 2s. 419. 419.
Over here. Fantastic. 419. Beautiful. All right, Stacia.
Okay.
Let's
Next.
do the next unveiling.
Yes, perpetually late, but not for dinner. White rabbit.
Oh, man, so great. The White Rabbit.
All right. For the White Rabbit. The 5, the 3 2s. 277.
277.
277.
Very nice. All right. Stacia, this is just a lot of fun.
Keep going. This is Walt Disney's very first feature-length beauty, Snow White.
Man, so prolific. All right, John, are you just picking them without?
This is very appropriate since we're on the water.
Yes.
Ariel.
We've got Ariel. Go ahead, Johnny.
All right, the last three numbers are 544.
Congratulations. In the back again. Don't worry, folks. We've only got a dozen more.
Please carry your luggage off the ship as we are now in port.
The most glamorous waterfowl in Hollywood.
Oh. Beautiful. Love that. Daisy Duck. Anyone?
That will be. Well, I have to give a number first,
Yes, you
Mark.
do.
It's just I'm sure
Raise your hand. Who wants it?
sure they'd all want one. All right, 3, 4, 5 are the lines. Oh, right down here.
Wow.
Head on up and get that.
All right, last one.
Who was it? Why, it was the star of the show. It
Of
was
course.
Belle.
Johnny.
All right, this last one for Stacia is 289.
Congratulations.
And John Pelkey, there it is. Keep that full. We have another special gift from Bret Iwan. But before we do that, we're going to throw it to Michael. Go ahead, Michael.
Throw it over. All right. So this is something sweet and something not so sweet. Paige's Disney Fine Art Treasure on Canvas, something sweet. Ooh. There we go. Remember? There we go. All right. Throw some numbers up.
All right, back here, that will go to 551. Oh, right back here.
Congratulations. Nice job.
We'll sign it for you after the show. Okay. And like I said, a very rare thing. Paige didn't know I was doing this. I scanned that work, and we have a work in progress, which we've not even approved yet. So, what do we? This is a Belle in the Snow. So it's a work in progress. It will look very different. Take it away.
All right, that will go to 399. All right, got another one?
We have another one. This is called Our Story.
Sorry, I'm a little behind on the ticketing here. Just so worried I'm going to drop this bolt. All right, 363. All right.
All sweet here. Enchanted Rose.
All right, Enchanted Rose.
Ooh. Oh, you gotta wake up here if you want to win.
This goes to 366. 366.
The First Dance.
All right, the first dance goes to 375.
Mark, do we have time for one more?
We do.
Okay. Or two more.
Sure.
All right. All right.
Oh my gosh, what did you
Another work in progress of Belle in the Snow.
That goes to 209.
Keep it going, Michael.
All right. And I've got some packaging for those after the show. Another work in progress.
Nice.
This one goes to 447.
Okay, that's it.
Should we do one more? Yeah. Okay.
All right, you really got lucky because we were going to shut it down, but you 472.
Wow, the back is on fire.
All right. How many more? I have no idea what's happening at this point. I'm just happy I've walked around and haven't fallen at this point.
I think you want me to cut that off.
I think we just keep giving away stuff.
All right.
People love free stuff. As long as you have stuff for the next show, Michael, that's all we care about.
This is the last one for this show.
Okay, perfect.
The same work in progress. Belle in the Snow.
343. 343.
All right, let's give it up for the DCL staff just getting the work out. They are doing a great job. We have one final giveaway, and that's this blanket from the Sail Away items out there. You're the promoter. Talk about this.
It's the Sail Away collection by Ashley Eckstein and myself. This is a blanket with the whole poster art. It's kind of hard to see in here, but it's very cozy.
Very cozy.
You can take it to the beach, take it to the park, and use it as a pillow on the airplane. Take a nap in the atrium with it. There's so many things you can do with it.
He's a natural promoter. Unscripted.
Tonight's semi-formal night. You can drape around your shoulders.
All right, Johnny, it's our last one. What do you got?
Brett, you already have 2 jobs. Leave something open for someone else. Try to work in marketing now. Final item goes to 224.
Yeah! There you go, sir. All right, everyone, let's give it up for Bret Iwan. We'll see you around the ship.